Good morning, Year 6. This is Monday's English lesson, and today we are looking further into our text Warhorse by Michael Morpurgo. What do we know already about Warhorse? Pause the video now and write down 4 things that you know already about the text Warhorse. Your teachers will be expecting to see these at the top of your page on your work. 4 things you know already about Warhorse. Pause the video now. Okay, so hopefully you have got things like our protagonist is Joey and he is a horse. Remember, protagonist means main character. Hopefully you've got that information. If you have, tick it off. We are set in World War One. World War One ran from 1914 to 1918. Well done if you got that piece of information. Superstar. We've also got another protagonist, another main character called Albert, and Albert is now Joey's owner. We also know that the men have been enlisted, so a recruiting officer came to Albert's hometown and recruited as many men as he could. Albert really wanted to go, but unfortunately he wasn't old enough. However, any horses or animals that were well enough and suitable were taken for the war effort in World War One. So Joey, our protagonist, the horse, is taken by the officer, and he does promise Albert that he will take care of him. So the horse is actually enlisted in the army, and Albert's really upset about this. Albert has formed a really close bond with Joey. Maybe you've written down something about Albert's father, who is not a very nice man. He is quite violent, especially to the horses. Albert's mother also lives with him, and she's quite scared of the father, and she's quite worried, and she always seems to follow what the father says, even though sometimes we get the idea that she doesn't quite agree with it. Well done if you got any of these facts, and give yourself a tick if you got any others that I haven't mentioned. So, today we are starting on our very first lesson of a new sequence. Now, today we haven't got progress time, but I want you to look back in your book and think about what we wrote Friday, last week. So on Friday, on our last English lesson, we published our piece of writing, which was a persuasive letter. You might be thinking, that letter doesn't have anything to do with this new piece of writing I'm doing, but it does. You've got lots of high-level vocabulary in there, like enlist, like consequences, in addition to, so you've got lots of lovely openers. So flick back now, pause the video, and see if you can get yourself back into that mindset of this wartime vocabulary. Okay then, let's get started. Our destination today is we are going to magpie words, phrases and ideas. So by the end of the lesson you will have some words and phrases in a word bank, and you will also have some ideas, and I'm going to show you how those ideas will look on your page. Before we start though, our anchor task. We have already discussed what we know about the text. What do you think about horses being used in the war? So before we start, what do you think about horses being used? Pause the video now and think about whether you agree with horses being used in the war or not. So some of you might have said you think it is a good thing because they could be useful to the war effort. Some of you might have said it was a bad thing. There are possible problems. They might get hurt, they might be damaged, or they might be scarred by the war. So this week we are going to write a discursive argument. A discursive argument means a balanced argument. So one that we say both sides of. So we do the fors and the against. First of all, we are going to watch a video all about horses in the war, and then we are going to read our waggle. Let's watch this video about animals in the war.
there's a kind of nobility about horses that I think forms a special bond between them and us. It's assumed that horses were first used in warfare at least 5,000 years ago. The major use, I think, was probably pulling chariots at that stage, because this was before the invention of saddles and stirrups and bridles and so on.
It's believed that the Indians were the first to use stirrups, and they had leather toe loops, and that was BC. Around the first centuries AD, the Chinese developed stirrups, and the use of the stirrups spread across the whole of Asia. The earliest depiction we have of Europeans using stirrups is at the Battle of Hastings, where we have evidence through the Bayeux tapestry that stirrups were used. The primary medieval horse used in warfare was the destrier. This is a French word which means war horse. Destriers, contrary to popular belief, weren't enormous shy horses, but they were medium-sized horses, about 15 or so hands high, with very short necks but powerful backs, which meant they could carry the weight of the armour. Now, they're quite incredible animals, because horses don't tend to like running into the fray where there's lots of swords and other horses and screaming men, so you needed to train them and to get them prepared.
Native Americans were not riding horses in the Americas prior to the Spanish conquests, primarily because any horses that had been in the Americas had died out 8,000 to 10,000 years previously. It was only with the Spanish conquistadors in the 16th century that horses were reintroduced, starting in South America and working their way up to North America. But of course, horses escape, they're let go, they're released, and these horses then, of course, create wild bands of horses. They are taken up by the Native Americans, who are then incorporated into Native American cultures.
During the French Revolution, there's evidence to suggest that the national studs that had been set up by Louis XIV were banned because horses were seen as being a very aristocratic and very royal thing to have. So all these studs he'd set up to breed his stunning Arabs were basically abolished and destroyed, and they weren't set up again until Napoleon. And he set up the studs and started to breed horses once more for warfare. Marengo was Napoleon's horse. He was an absolutely stunning stallion, fought in a lot of battles, named after the Battle of Marengo. But he was captured at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, and from then on he was put to stud, which means they wanted to breed from him. It didn't work, apparently, but he lived to a ripe old age. He was 38 years old when he died. His skeleton is now in the National Army Museum, minus a hoof. He's gone down in history.
World War I had an almost unprecedented death rate of horses. We don't really know specific numbers, but what we can guess is anything from hundreds of thousands of horses died to a few million horses died.
When the war ended, it was discovered that most of these horses were being sold to the French butchers and Belgian butchers as meat and so on. And I think the British people saw that these horses had done their bit and deserved to have a better fate. Churchill at that time wrote to the chief of the army staff demanding that something be done.
At the end of the First World War, horses started to fall out of fashion. This is because they began to realise that horses were no longer needed at the forefront of battle, that we've moved on to tanks, that the guns were bigger, that horses couldn't deal with trenches and with barbed wire, and that was the way that warfare was happening in 1918. So in the interwar years, the army turns to mechanisation in a very large way. I believe that the use of horses in warfare and the relationship with men has been incredibly important right the way throughout history. We have diaries and letters which nearly always mention the horse in them.
In the First World War, men would be risking their lives to save horses. I met somebody recently who was describing their grandfather having to rescue horses that had been sheltering a wood in France, and the Germans recognised that they were there and started shelling the wood, and he ran into the wood to release these horses.
You read accounts of people who've gone to war and they talk about their horses as their partners. So the horse would do what the rider wanted, but also would take care of the rider, like the rider would take care of the horse in this mutual partnership through adversity.
Okay, so now we've watched that really moving video that hopefully now you know a little bit more about horses and their relationship with the men during World War I and also throughout history beforehand. We are going to read the waggle, so I would like you to pause the video now and open up the document of the waggle. Have a look through and I want you to see what features you can spot. We are writing a discursive argument, so we need to spot some features and we're then going to think about our content. Open the waggle now, pause the video and open the document and see what features you can spot. I would like you to make a list on today's page of the features you can see in a discursive argument. Okay, hopefully now you have got some features. We are going to have a look at the waggle together and see if we got the same features at home. So this one, I didn't want to give you an idea of should horses be used in the war or animals because that would make it too easy. So I've given you a different discursive argument. Should dogs be kept on leads in parks? Most parks allow dog owners to walk their dogs on the field for free. For many years there has been great debate over whether or not dogs should be kept on leads. I really like this opener. For many years there has been great debate. If you didn't get that on your waggle, make sure you write that down now. Firstly, lovely opener which helps us with cohesion. It is far safer for children playing in the park if the dogs are kept on their leads. So look, they've given the very first point here. Some dogs may be aggressive and therefore they are more likely to bite humans. It is known that, what a lovely opener, and then they give us a fact. So I have spotted the features. I definitely need openers and they help with cohesion. I have also spotted facts and figures, so it is known that 50%, for example. I've also spotted things like great debate, so that is high level vocabulary so far. There has been great debate. You need to look through the waggle now and see if you can spot any other features. I bet you can spot some more openers, some more facts and figures, and some more vocabulary. So now we have spotted the features, we are going to think about some words or phrases that we can use in our word bank today. So on your page, I would like you to set up this subtitle, word bank, and underneath we are going to magpie some words or phrases. So if I flick back to my waggle, I have got things like, for many years, there has been great debate. I saw things like, additionally, consequently as a great opener that we could use. We have got phrases like, it is known that. or furthermore. So lots of openers to add to our cohesion. I might also say some people believe that. Others disagree. Remember, our discursive argument is two-sided, so it's balanced. You may think that, however. Okay, so that is my example to start you off with your word bank. I would like you to go back through your Waggle and make a word bank of words and phrases to include for this week's learning. So once we have done today's lesson, you should have a lot of words and phrases in your word bank ready to use this week in your writing. Please remember to send a picture of your work to your teacher from this lesson. We need to see a nice big word bank with lots of words or phrases you've thought of yourself.